Okay, welcome. We've never done this before, but since we're all together, we thought we would just do a little round table. But the trouble is we don't have a table and we don't have enough chairs. So we'll have a round stand-up in this whole thing. And I thought we would have a discussion, on the subject of winning, but also drive, determination, discipline. Like all of us in this standing up here can stop. We have enough money, we have enough success, we have all enough. But something drives us, and it's the same thing that drove us to this point, but it keeps us driving beyond it. Some people who are into being comfortable think this is nuts, and I think being comfortable is nuts. So basically what Kim and I talk about, there's four kinds of people. One is a person who must win. I think we have people up here. Two is a person who must be right. A lot of times they're attorneys and accountants or school teachers or politicians, all that kind of stuff. And three is a person who must be comfortable. And when I talk to people who must be comfortable, they're always saying to me, why are you working so hard? Why? So why are you sitting on your butt so hard? It's a different person. And the fourth person is a person who must be liked. They want to be popular. So they'll do everything to be liked, things like this. And we're actually all four of them at certain degrees. But what we really are about, I personally, is, if I win something, I want to win again. And if I lose, I'm going to kick your butt next week. It's a different attitude. And losers are, victims. They go, oh, he cheated, he did this. Gone, So that's what we're going to talk about, is the subject of winning, drive, determination, and what keeps us going, right? So we'll let my sweetheart go first.
Oh. Well, number one, I really do hate losing. And I know we talk about, when you lose, you learn, and that's how when you make mistakes and you move forward, and that's true, and that's absolutely true. That's how I learn, that's how I grow. But there's something in me that I hate to lose, and it's hard to explain. But I think what drives me is, a good example is we took a vacation in Hawaii a couple months ago. We took 2 weeks in Hawaii. And I actually, for the first time in a long time, experienced boredom. I actually, for like 2 hours, I was bored. It was the worst feeling in the whole world. I hadn't really experienced it before. It's like my mind wasn't like driving on something. Everything was done. I could just kind of sit back on the beach, and I just really hated it. And so this year for me, I'm 50 years old, and I've never been driving so hard in my life. And for me, what is most exciting and scariest at the same time, but most exciting, is when I push up against something I'm not sure I can do. I don't know if I'm going to make it, but the fear is there. There's a lot of risk, and the fear of, when you step up to the line and then you back off. But when you step up to the line and you break through something you don't know you can do, that to me is the ultimate. That's the adrenaline, and that's really one of the things I just love the most.
Thanks. Larry.
Well, I don't know. I think for me is this whole thing is, it's always the big question is, how big can you be? How big is your game? How much can you accomplish? And for me, this thing about winning is, and that's the reason I like business, is because the problem in sports is when the game's over, it's over. Clock runs out. But in business, you always get a rematch. So it's kind of like what you said, is like, even if I screw up today, I can get even tomorrow. And I think you said something to me once. We were sitting around talking. You said, it's just good to be in the game, isn't it? And I said, yeah, that's really true. Is for me to be able to play, to win. If I get knocked down, it's motivation. I always go through the same mood level. It's kind of like, first I get momentarily depressed, then I get angry, then I get resourceful. And the more I do it, I keep on through the cycle faster. So my wife, Eileen, is like, whenever I'm angry, she goes, oh, this is good. I said, she's happy, I'm angry. It's a bad combination. But I know that because ever since I've been a little kid, it's just like, you don't play a sport to come in second place. Why would you run track? I ran track. I tried football, but you can tell that the chemistry didn't work real well. But my point is that why would you go up to the line if you weren't planning to win it? If you weren't going to give it everything that you've got. And I think that for me is that this desire to win is just, again, is a way of life. Every day, how big can I be? How much can I accomplish? How far can I go? I have friends like you, Kim. They're just like kicking back. How do I plan my retirement? In my brain just doesn't even fathom stopping.
Can I say something to that real quick? Give me the microphone.
She's a woman.
Give me
she's
the
allowed to
microphone.
do it.
No, because that's such a good point. Yeah. Because I have really cut out a lot of my friends in the last few years for that exact reason. Is as we're driving forward, we're growing. I'm hanging out with you guys because you encourage me. We encourage each other. We're like driving on it, and it's really hard to hang out with friends that are just kind of complacent, and they're either growing or you're declining. And these friends are declining, and I don't want to. I want to be around people who I get excited and driven by. So I just wanted to make the point. Thanks.
Yeah, sure. It's like
He lost his momentum. And
there's one other point. Well, you come from a family of it, I know. But seriously, I think for me too, like you say, there's certain friends that are no longer around. We started with a lot of people. A few years ago, there'd be a lot of people up here, but this is what's left, because at some level, people, they don't want to go for it anymore. But I think, and now I just want to say one thing about it, is I think that once you get a taste of winning, and once you get a taste of winning, doing something you really love doing, it's addictive. You've got to keep going. It's kind of like, I don't play golf. You hit the hole in one. Okay, this guy, the only guy I know that actually hit a hole in one. Give him a hand. Give him a hand.
No, this is the worst part. No, he hit a hole in one on his first time up at the tee. He says, "What's so hard about this game?"
But see, and I don't play golf, but I would assume that by you get a good shot and you're going to play more because you keep trying to get back to that zone where you felt great. Yeah, that makes sense. You have a time when you just feel awesome, and for me, it just keeps getting back to that place. How much bigger can I get it to be? I don't know. It's just an affliction, I think, of having. And people ask me about Rich Dad. They say, well, what's it like to be on the team? I said, part of the code of honor is you got to have an ungodly, these are your words, ungodly desire to win. And I went to one organization. They said, well, we don't want to use the word win. We just want to use the word succeed. I'm going, what's wrong with winning? It's like, well, winning means someone else is going to lose. And the problem with that is, But, there are people that somehow in their brains, it doesn't work. Winning is a bad thing. But for me, it's what I get up in the morning for.
Well, it's like our friend Craig Coppola, the psycho,
Oh, yeah.
the psycho coach. He says he hates. He played pro baseball, and he says now in Little League nobody's allowed to lose. So he formed his own league. He got so upset. He says, "What is this stuff where nobody can lose?" He says that is the biggest load of rubbish. Joe Montana, the greatest quarterback on earth, said the same thing. He says, winning and losing's not bad. It's just how you take it. Mm-hmm. To me, every time I've lost, I've said, thank you. I'm going to come get you. You have now given me a reason to be around. And I'm going to kick your ass. I'm going to kick it so bad. You'll regret the day you kicked my butt. And that's it. And I'm grateful for that. And that is the difference. But again, there's four people. Winners, people who need to be right, people who want to be comfortable, and people who need to be liked. And the people that need to be liked are the ones that form those little league teams where nobody loses. Well, that's your choice. That would not fit my MO. It just does not fit for me. I go out there. I don't care if I lose. I just want another shot at it. That's all I ask for. And if I really want to win, I'll come back at you, and I'll come back at you. And I'm grateful for your strength because you make me stronger. That is the how I hold it. Okay. Marco.
I have a microphone here. You can give that to Kim.
Yeah.
I don't think it would be needed. Sorry, buddy. Go ahead. No, well, one of the things that makes me keep going is, like, for example, when we work in the telethon, and we hear all of the stories of the handicapped kids and their families and all of that, the number one question that comes to a person when you're facing a big challenge in your life is, why me, right? Why did my kid have to be born with this handicap condition? Or why did I lose the money? Or why was I born in a poor family? Or why me? It's always why, because you're always seeing other people that are doing better than you. But the interesting thing, and something that those kids have taught us in the past, is that when you have privileges, when you have gifts that God or life gave you, when you have things that you didn't do anything to accomplish them. I mean, you were born with them, like the possibility of communicating with more people, the capabilities of being a leader, the capabilities of building teams, the capabilities of people believing in what you say. You never ask yourself, why me? You just ask yourself, why me, when you have something bad in your life, but not when you have something good in your life. So what has happened to me is that I go like, why me? Why me? I could have been that handicapped kid. I mean, what's the difference? And I kind of realized that I believe in God, and I believe that God has a mission for you. And you have to learn, have to discover, have to find out what your mission in life is. Why were you born under those circumstances? And you say it a lot in your workshops. Why did you have to go through all of that struggle to get to the point where you are? There's a reason for that. So if you can find an answer and you can say, okay, I'm gonna do something with it, then you can be the best you can be. Then you can win, which is for me the meaning of winning. Doing something that even when I'm not here anymore, is still gonna be there.
That's what drives you on.
Yeah.
Good. Thank you. Kenny?
Well, I think mine's changed since I was a young kid. First of all, what I identified the most with the Rich Dad organization was when Robert was talking about the A, B, and the C student, because I was definitely the C student. And I could never understand why, I was never getting the A's and the high marks. It's probably because I didn't study. and the truth was that I just wasn't really passionate about a lot of the subjects. Had I been passionate about the subjects, I think obviously I would have done better at them. So I always seem to do better at like gym. Those kinds of things. So what I did is kind of like what Blair did, is I excelled in sports. So that's kind of when I learned about winning, and then my motivation changed once I learned that I just wanted to really crush all the A students, even though I was a C student. And that's when I became an entrepreneur. And then it just became a drive. And basically in the beginning it was all about fear of failure. I didn't want to fail. But I think once I got educated more, then I realized a lot more about what I knew and what other people didn't know. And so now it actually becomes more of like a game for me at this point. Because, yes, I like to win, of course. And definitely, if you come in second place, it's really just the first loser. And, it's the truth. And so, for me, it started out as the fear of failure, but now, I just go into whatever situation I can at the moment with the best resources, the best team, the best knowledge that I can. And what ends up happening is that you do win. When you're armed with it's very easy for me to sit across from a broker or a seller, and they think they're coming from a power of strength, but I got a whole team behind me, and I know I'm just going to crush them. I just know it, and they're sitting there by themselves thinking that they do, and it's just one-sided. It really is one-sided. So.
For me, I would say it's similar with Kenny. I was a CD and F student a lot of the times, and it hurt me so bad that I had to find a way that I could win. And I wasn't going to win on the golf course. I didn't want to be a pro football player. I just had to find where I could win. And one of the best, it was to get even, to prove. So losing was really good. Getting an F was the best because I flunked English, and now I've sold more books than most English teachers,
Yeah.
So I always saw losing as kind of a kick in the groin. And it was a wake-up call. It was Jesus saying, get to work. You just found out you don't know something, sweetheart. That's the only way I looked at it. But another thing that took it to another level in the psychosis of winning was when I went to Vietnam. And when I realized, I was always cheating in school, bored, not interested, not excited. And one day I went down and I was in flight school and I was just kind of going through the motions. I was flying the little fighter planes. And they said, they're going to end the war in Vietnam. I said, wait a minute, they can't end the war yet. I haven't got there yet, And I went down and I volunteered. I said, what's the fastest way for me to go to Vietnam? I don't know why I was saying this. Most guys are saying, God, I hope the war is over. I'm going, no, don't end it yet. So what's the fastest way? And I was in flight school in Florida at the time. And they said, well, the fastest way is a helicopter gunship. I said, really? Why? I said, because they're dying. I said, okay, I'll sign that. So I switched from single-engine fighters to helicopters. And I wound up at Camp Pendleton. And now I'm getting ready to go to war. And they said, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. I'm going, why? He says, they're dying. I'm going home. I'm like, okay, And all of a sudden I realized that dying was the most exciting thing possible. This guy, that little bastard out there is going to kill me. A little Viet Cong out there with a 30 cal or a 50 cal, he's going to kill me. And now I have to be the best. Because there's what I learned once I got to Vietnam and the firing started, there's no second place. Only one goes home alive. That's it. And it was the most exciting experience of my life. I was not bored. I was not complacent. I was now at the peak of what I could possibly be. I pushed that helicopter as hard as I could. I only flew with certain guys who were willing to take we could roll it this way, go underneath here, do this. And we became the best pilots possible. We flew that thing engine on, engine off. It didn't make any difference. So what that experience of somebody going to kill me made me was the best that I could be. And it was a peak experience, and I loved it so much. So I came back from Vietnam in 73 in Hawaii, but now I was psychotic because I was now bulletproof. If they can't kill you there, they can't kill you here. And the only other place I could find that much adrenaline, that high, was an entrepreneur. As an entrepreneur, there's no paycheck, right?
Right.
There's no program there's no human resource development. There's not somebody I can go air my grievances to. It was the same as Vietnam. It was, I'm on the edge, I'm playing against the smartest guys on the street, the other entrepreneurs. And if you're stupid, they'll take your money that fast. And so by 76, they took my money. 78, they took my money. 1980, I was broke. And every time they did it, I said, thank you. You SOBs, I'm going to get you. And every time it drove me and drove me and drove me to be the best that I could be. Because I'm playing in the world, the real world of business, not corporate America, not government, not the school system. When you're on the streets, you're playing with the best. Does that make sense, guys? Yeah. And that's all that I wanted to be at. I wanted to play the game to the best of my abilities, that if I lost, it was winner take all. I love it that way. I don't want second place. I don't want third place. I want to take it all. Guys got that? So that's really what sits inside my soul and drive. As Kim says, when I go on vacation in Hawaii, I am freaking bored. What? Oh, isn't this lovely? A little bit more suntan lotion in there. Let me go find a deal. Let me go do something, So that's what drives me. I love my competition because and the better I get, the tougher competition I want. So that's why today, like Donald Trump's my buddy and all this, man, hanging out with him, it's such a pleasure. I know why he's a billionaire and I'm a millionaire. And that's what drives me. I don't want to hang out with losers. People want to hang out with losers. It's up to you. It is not what I want to do. And we have free choice in that matter. That makes sense, guys?
I have something else to say.
Okay.
I'm getting used to this. No, I just want to say, listening to everybody, I also, when I was young, I played sports. And your team counted on you to do the best you could be. and that's kind of what I've surrounded myself over the years. And same as you talk about Donald Trump, I surround myself with people that are counting on me to excel. And Donald, if Robert doesn't step up to the line, he's not going to hang out with you.
Yeah, Donald won't hang out with losers. It's not
Yeah.
his style. He's a very nice man, very polite. He just doesn't take your phone call.
But one of the keys for me with winning is being around people that are counting on me to be the best I can be, because then I've got to rise up to the level. So when I did the Rich One PBS show, PBS was counting on it to be a success. Richard, our producer, was counting on it to be a success. Robert was counting on it to be a success. I couldn't just sit back and go, oh, well, if it happens, it happens. That's okay. No, I was scared to, what? I mean, it had to be the best, and they pushed me without even knowing it, because that's been my MO that I just realized now.